Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
My respected chairman, sir, chairperson, ma'am, vice chairman, ma'am, chief administrative officer in academics, my admirable principal, sir, academic director, sir, vice principal, sir, faculty members, and my valuable participants. Once again, I am warmly welcome. So now I welcome our beloved principal, Dr. T.K. Kannan, to give presidential address. So I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Respected resource person of this first session, Dr. Sudhakar Subramaniam, coordinator of this ATAL FDP, Dr. Uma Maheshwari, HOD CEC, and the organizers of this program, faculty members, and my dear participants. A warm welcome, and I convey my wishes during this occasion. A very good morning to one and all. Actually, I think so. This is a hot topic, that is augmented reality and virtual reality, which will be useful to you for your research as well as to handle the subjects for the students. I kindly request the participants, you please interact with the resource persons. Only the two-way communication is useful for every program. The success of the program actually depends upon the interaction of the resource person as well as the participants. Therefore, kindly utilize this program as an effective one. And we request your feedback at the end of the program after the 5 days. With these few words, once again I convey my wishes to all of you, and also I request you please be safe and safeguard your family members during this crucial situation. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So now I will give some small introduction about our chief guest. So Dr. Sudhakar Subramaniam, his qualifications are: he studied MBBS, Government Medical College, Delari, DLO, Madras Medical College, MSc, Yoga, Bharatidasan University. He worked as ENT specialist in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Oman since 21 years. At present, practicing in Forest Clinic, Hosur. He is a motivational speaker for students, parents, and people in various walks of life, from career counseling, sports counseling, health counseling, life counseling, etc. He speaks in all South Indian languages, Hindi and English. He is a voracious reader, artist, photographer, orator, philosopher, yoga teacher, and guide. He is a member of British Medical Journal, who's discussed on ENT and health issues actively since 10 years. He is a member of EN Volunteer Services in Emergency Health Management. He and his wife, Dr. Tripura Sundari, gynecologist, are yoga and meditation teacher of Vedantri Maharishi WCSC Sky Yoga. So once again, I welcome you, sir. So the session over to you, sir. Sir?
Ma'am, voice is not audible, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll inform you.
Now, am I audible now?
Yeah. Yes. Audible.
Okay, madam. Good morning, everybody, and good morning, Principal Sir and Uma Madam. I'm indeed very honored to be part of this session and to just share with you some knowledge about this pandemic, Corona, COVID-19, and the after effects and what we can do. And I just want to touch a little bit of yoga. That's what is the main concept today. So I'll go to the presentation. So yoga during COVID, yoga and COVID. COVID is CO is corona, VI is virus, and D is disease. Because it started from 2019, so we call it as COVID-19. But now we can call COVID-20, COVID-21, and I don't know, it's like it may go for 25, 26, and so more actually. And it's a viral era. Like in like 50 years before or in last century, people died of bacterial infection. Before Louis Pasteur and Robert Koch found out about these bacteria and the treatment in microscope and all. People were dying of bacterial diseases like tuberculosis, syphilis, smallpox, so many diseases. The people were being killed due to the diseases. But now, as of because of the advancement of technology and science, we could overcome all those things, like pasteurization of milk and boiling of water, so many things, and sterilizer, purification, so many advancements has come. So during this time, what has happened is the bacterial infection has come down because of the precautions and the hygienic and sanitation measures that we take. Now, it's a viral era. That's what we like in IT profession or in industrial revolution and so many things, computer age, we tell in engineering or technological language. Similarly, in medical language, what we call it as is a viral era. So like post 70s and all, people are dying more of and infected more of this one only. So like viral era. So COVID, it's just like an ordinary flu virus, okay? Ordinary flu virus, like we get common cold. There are a lot of flu virus like adenovirus, rhinovirus, H1N1, influenza virus. So many viruses are there, millions. We are all in this air. We think that it is vacuum or it's dead space, but it's filled with viruses actually, along with the air particles and so many things. So these things are, we are breathing in and we are breathing out. Whatever we are exposed to during our like our mother's pregnancy, when we are inside our mother's womb, whatever we are exposed to, we are immune to that. Like any foreign material that comes to the mother and to the child, and because the cells are developing, it will have a software to adapt any changes that is there due to mutation like this COVID mutation. This our body also evolves and it becomes complex with the 46 chromosomes, and then it will adapt itself. But once we are born, that software will be the same software that we were programmed when we were in the mother's womb. Once we come out, what happens is we are exposed to this environment. So anything that dust or any bacteria, whatever we drink, whatever we breathe, whatever we touch, everything, it gets infected or it gets into our body. And if the virus or the bacterial load is so much, see, like food poisoning, all these things, mild thing, some stomach upset will be there and the body will overcome and then everything will be okay. But if it is very severe, we get into vomiting, loose motions. And similarly, this COVID also, when the virulence, when the virus load is more, so what happens is this will take the toll and it will put down us. The virus load, the number of viruses, like if 100 people come and attack you at the same time, what will happen? So we will be not able to fight back. So similarly, even though it's very, very tiny, small, it can't be seen through naked eye, but if they come in crowd, like so many, if you put in a room and you are filled with cockroaches or rats, what will be your state? Similarly, we are all surrounded, when you are surrounded by too much of virus and gets in loaded, so body has to fight externally and internally. So the capacity of the body to fight back is what is called the immunity power or the sustainable power. If we have more immunity, then we can overcome this, like it will be like an ordinary cold. Say 85 to 90% of the people who got IU, everybody might have got exposed to this coronavirus. But what happened is we overcome, we didn't get infected because our immunity is good. People who are admitted and what you are seeing in newspapers, TV channels, and so many things are happening. See the percentage, see we, like I am from Hosur, we totally put together, including the government hospital, private hospitals, everywhere, if you take all the beds into account in the total hospitals, it is around 700 to 800 beds only. But if we take, like your mother, when if she has to cook for 10 people, it's fine. We have utensils, we have gas, all these things. But if we want to prepare for 100 people, all of a sudden, it will be not possible. So, like a load, only one bus is there and 150 people want to get into the bus will collapse. Similarly, what is happening is the load of the patients, infected patients, are more compared to the beds. So the availability of beds. That doesn't mean that we have to increase the beds. Once this pandemic is finished, all this will become waste. The beds will become waste. But even though we have to get prepared for this, for our population, for the Indian population of 125 crores, yes, our healthcare system is lacking a lot of beds and infrastructures. Okay. So like in the every batch, only 60,000 doctors are coming out in the per batch in NEET exam or whatever it is. Only 60,000 per year people are coming out, but engineers in lakhs. So that infrastructure, college, so many things are there. So that has to be taken into consideration. So what you are seeing is an accident. Like a pandemic is, epidemic is in local place, pandemic is all over the world. You are seeing it suddenly. And this is because of the WhatsApp and all these things. So we are getting communicated easily, and then we get lot of wrong informations and right informations. So we have to be very alert in choosing. So what do I mean by yoga? I just want to put a word about yoga. Yoga it comes from the yogam, or lottery. When you get a lottery ticket or you get a prize money or something like that. Oh, this fellow yoga madichirche. This fellow has got a yoga. He's got yoga. That's what we tell, no? Like yoga means it's something. It's a blessing or some what you tell, some prosperity. It's something like that which you gain. So yoga means not what we do is in asanas. There are 8 parts in Patanjali Ashtanga yoga. Ashta means 8 and Anga means parts. In 8 parts like yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, dharana, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi are the 8 stages. So what yoga means, that the body, spirit and the mind, our body, our physical body should be healthy. Like if you don't have eyes or you're handicapped or something like that. So, or if you're having a disease, genetic disease when you're a child or something like that, then it will be a difficult. So physical body is very, very important. In that, the mind is working. That Homo sapiens, we are called as Homo sapiens. Human beings are called as Homo sapiens because Homo is a primate which can stand in 2 legs. And sapiens means wisdom, wise. So means whatever is happening in the nature, you can understand just by thinking. Sapiens means wisdom, a man who thinks. Like an animal, like a lion, it's still living in the dead. Like honeybee, it's still same that honeycomb is being produced. But see the varieties of houses or homes that people are making it based on the climatic changes, hill station, seaside, depending on all the nature's things. The man can understand, comprehend, and then he can live in the nature, protecting himself, constructing a house in rainfall or in summer, or means like AC, fan, so many things. He has made it artificially using the science and technology. Okay, plus, so what we call is yoga is which we can, instead of going into this artificial AC or this things through our natural mechanism. Say just for an example, if you take breathing, okay. So left side of the breathing, we tell it as either left half of the body. Okay, this left half, this connects, that left side of the brain connects with the right side part of the body, and the right part of the brain connects with the left side of the body. Similarly, when we breathe, the air that goes through the left nostril, it will go to the half, and then it comes and goes. That air will come out of this right nostril, and from the right nostril it goes and comes out of it's like a car piston. Okay, like a piston going up and down like a pulley. And when you are doing this, that center from the tailbone, that spine, that central spine, through that, like a pulley, like a bucket of water, that energy will transmit, like it will gear up. So once it gears up, it will come and then it will touch the Agni chakra or the brain. See in this picture, I can show you. Can you see this? So these are what I'm pointing out is this red color and the blue color. These 2 half of the body, and the right brain, left brain. So when we are breathing, so what happens is this air, if a car, if air gets locked, so then the car will, if you put an apple, if you plug into or a cotton, if you plug into the silencer, when the exhaust is not there, so it will not work. The engine will not start and the car will not run. Similarly, once the exhaust through one nostril, it will come in, and the other nostril it goes out, from another nostril it goes out, and then so from the left nostril it will cool the body, from the right nostril it heats up the body. So this has to get balanced. So during this COVID, what happens is your nose will get blocked. So both the sides, the air entry will be not enough, oxygen supply will be not enough. So the air intake, and this is how you'll get stuffy nose, loss of smell, loss of taste, all these things. When it goes to the lungs, and lungs also will get affected, and it will not be able to breathe properly. Okay. So yoga means your body, along with the air and this prana shakti or Uyir shakti, what we tell, or the life energy, it has to go circulate along. Whenever the energy goes, along with that air goes, and along wherever the air goes, it will pull the fluid, that the blood circulation also will be there. So this is a chain reaction. If one gets hampered, then it will be a problem. So once the life energy is finished, we are dead. There will be no air circulation, there will be no blood circulation. So keeping in unison, so we are all yogic only. We are all, if you are living normally, you can run, you can jump, you can walk staircases, you can do your normal work, means you are in yoga, you are along with the nature. But suddenly, if you have some immune deficiency disorder, like any diseases, like kidney failure, like heart disease, like diabetes or something, when the immunity is down, so the body will be not able to overcome. Means it is not in yoga, it's not in union. You are not able to withstand the effects of the nature. So you have to boost it up. So yoga is one natural process to understand the nature and nature of your body, mind, and the spirit. If it is in alignment, then everything you can enjoy it yourself, like moderate food, moderate thinking, good sleep, and your work should be proper. All this put together, what will happen is you will have a normal life. You can work calmly, peacefully, wherever you go. Okay. So this is a brief about yoga. So I just want to play a video showing how this COVID is infecting us. Okay. So I will be not able to listen to my sound because I am putting that stereo, okay, for the video to play. After the video, you can ask me a question.
This is SARS-CoV-2. It belongs to the family of coronaviruses named for the crown-like spikes on their surfaces. SARS-CoV-2 can cause COVID-19, a contagious viral infection that attacks primarily your throat and lungs. What actually happens in your body when you contract the coronavirus? What exactly causes your body to develop pneumonia? And how would a vaccine work? The coronavirus must infect living cells in order to reproduce. Let's have a closer look. Inside the virus, genetic material contains the information to make more copies of itself. A protein shell provides a hard protective enclosure for the genetic material as the virus travels between the people it infects. An outer envelope allows the virus to infect cells by merging with the cell's outer membrane. Projecting from the envelope are spikes of protein molecules. Both a typical influenza virus and the new coronavirus use their spikes like a key to get inside a cell in your body, where it takes over the cell's internal machinery, repurposing it to build the components of new viruses. When an infected person talks, coughs, or sneezes, droplets carrying the virus may land in your mouth or nose and then move into your lungs. Once inside your body, the virus comes in contact with cells in your throat, nose, or lungs. One spike on the virus inserts into a receptor molecule on your healthy cell membrane like a key in a lock. This action allows the virus to get inside your cell. A typical flu virus would travel inside a sac made from your cell membrane to your cell's nucleus that houses all its genetic material. The coronavirus, on the other hand, doesn't need to enter the host cell nucleus. It can directly access parts of the host cell called ribosomes. Ribosomes use genetic information from the virus to make viral proteins, such as the spikes on the virus's surface. A packaging structure in your cell then carries the spikes in vesicles which merge with your cell's outer layer, the cell membrane. All the parts needed to create a new virus gather just beneath your cell's membrane. Then, a new virus begins to bud off from the cell's membrane. Now, with the virus spreading in your body, how can you develop pneumonia symptoms? For this, we'll have to look into your lungs. Each lung has separate sections called lobes. Normally, as you breathe, air moves freely through your trachea or windpipe, then through large tubes called bronchi, through smaller tubes called bronchioles, and finally into tiny sacs called alveoli. Your airways and alveoli are flexible and springy. When you breathe in, each air sac inflates like a small balloon. And when you exhale, the sacs deflate. Small blood vessels called capillaries surround your alveoli. Oxygen from the air you breathe passes into your capillaries, and then carbon dioxide from your body passes out of your capillaries into your alveoli so that your lungs can get rid of it when you exhale. Your airways catch most germs in the mucus that lines your trachea, bronchi, and bronchioles. In a healthy body, hair-like cilia lining the tubes constantly push the mucus and germs out of your airways, where you might expel them by coughing. Normally, cells of your immune system attack viruses and germs that make it past your mucus and cilia and enter your alveoli. However, if your immune system is weakened, like in the case of a coronavirus infection, the virus can overwhelm your immune cells, and your bronchioles and alveoli become inflamed as your immune system attacks the multiplying viruses. The inflammation can cause your alveoli to fill with fluid, making it difficult for your body to get the oxygen it needs. You could develop lobar pneumonia, where one lobe of your lungs is affected, or you could have bronchopneumonia that affects many areas of both lungs. Pneumonia may cause difficulty breathing, chest pain, coughing, fever and chills, confusion, headache, muscle pain, and fatigue. It can also lead to more serious complications. Respiratory failure occurs when your breathing becomes so difficult that you need a machine called a ventilator to help you breathe. These are the machines that save lives and that medical device companies currently ramp up production for. Whether you would develop these symptoms depends on a lot of factors, such as your age and whether you already have an existing condition. While this all sounds scary, the push to develop a coronavirus vaccine is moving at high speed. Studies of other coronaviruses led most researchers to assume that people who have recovered from a SARS-CoV-2 infection could be protected from reinfection for a period of time. But that assumption needs to be backed by empirical evidence, and some studies suggest otherwise. There are several different approaches for a potential vaccine against the coronavirus. The basic idea is that you would get a shot that contains faint versions of the virus. The vaccine would expose your body to a version of the virus that is too weak to cause infection, but just strong enough to stimulate an immune response. Within a few weeks, cells in your immune system would make markers called antibodies, which would be specific for only the coronavirus, or specifically its spike protein. Antibodies then attach to the virus and prevent it from attaching to your cells. Your immune system then responds to signals from the antibodies by consuming and destroying the clumps of viruses. If you then catch the real virus at a later stage, your body would recognize it and destroy it. In other words, your immune system is now primed. Collecting evidence on whether this will be possible, safe, and effective
Sir, please unmute your mic.
Sir, not audible, sir. Subramaniam, sir. Sir, your mic is mute, sir.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. See, sorry for this. There are 7 types of coronavirus types. Okay. So what we are dealing with is the SARS-CoV-2, which causes this COVID-19. It is SARS because it is severe acute respiratory syndrome. Okay. So these COVID variants are many. Like we have seen 4. That is a double mutant strain. What we are seeing now, it is B.1.617 variant. See, and this UK strain, South African strain, Brazilian strain. So we got this second wave with the mutation of this UK strain. And in Maharashtra, what we saw in the second wave, it started, it came from Brazil also. There's a mixed cases of Brazilian strain as well. What happens is this virus, like a thief, when a police is trying to catch them, that thief will change his dress color, changes his hairstyle, changes his body language, changes his shoes. Similarly, this coronavirus, what happens is mutates. Mutates means it changes its spike proteins and its shapes, and so that the body will not be, the immune system can't identify them. So from the day that China, in Wuhan, when the primary virus started, so till now, it has mutated more than 4,000 times. Okay. So what we tell is in first wave, second wave, third wave. First wave is less virulent. It was affecting people above 60 years of age. Now the second wave is between 18 to 45. And now the third wave, they are telling that when it comes, either if what we are doing with the lockdown is, there is no treatment, exact treatment for this. Though we have some remdesivir and some antiviral medicine which are used in some other viruses. Here, because of the mutation, the medicines are not able to effectively work actually. So, vaccination and cutting the chain by lockdown or social distancing is the main way of transmitting this disease. Once there is a gap in the transmission, so the virus will not propagate and then it will stop. So, our main duty, what we are doing, we tried all the methods, but what happens is the time the virus enters, and by the time that immunity overcomes it, and then this one we overcome it, by the time some people are getting succumb, and it is putting us down before the medicine is given. So by the time some symptoms come, it will be 3 days. Fifth day you can do the blood test. Immediate first RT-PCR and all you can do it on the fifth day. It will be positive. 2-3 days, after 3 days only you will get this positive, this swab test and all. Then on the 7th, 8th day, that is what is a cytokine storm, where the lungs will get congested, not because of the virus, the damages that is caused by the viruses. So what happens is, as we saw in that blood alveoli, where this oxygen and carbon dioxide will exchange, right? That lining will get damaged. Once that lining get damaged, so then the oxygen will not enter from external to the blood circulation. So that is what is happening here. So, and people who are diabetic and immunosuppressed and kidney patients, they are getting into, for 95% of the population, we are treating at home. And most of us, myself, you, everybody have got infected. But depending on the viral load, immunity plus the viral load. If the viral load is too much, then you will get succumb. So the next wave, we should not allow the next wave to come. So a lockdown is the only method that we can do for the virus, and there are many viruses that yet to come. So viral era, as I told you, nothing to panic. So that's what I told. This waves after waves, it comes actually. So what are the COVID tests that we have? Okay. Just a second.
different methods of testing are being experimented in the country to trace COVID-19 infection. The Health Ministry has announced that the real-time reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction, or RT-PCR, is the gold standard frontline test for COVID-19. This came into effect after the rapid antibody tests showed unreliable results. Antibody tests, also known as serological tests, are used to find out the presence of virus in a body. In this method of testing, blood samples are used to find antibodies. This process also detects the quantity of antibodies that are produced by the immune system. It is an indirect method of testing as it cannot find the virus but can determine if the immune system has encountered it. Antibodies can show up between 9 to 28 days after the infection has set in. By this time, an infected person can spread the disease if not isolated. The RT-PCR test is a method of testing by taking a nasal or throat swab from a patient. It involves extracting ribonucleic acid or RNA, which is the genetic material of the virus. If it shares the same genetic sequence as SARS coronavirus 2, then it is deemed positive. This form of testing can turn negative only if the actual sample does not carry the virus or if it was not administered properly. The RT-PCR technology is a fairly expensive method. It requires RNA extracting machines, a laboratory, and trained technicians. A minimum of 30 samples are needed to make it economically viable. Sometimes, it can even take up to 4 hours to test for the presence of virus from one batch. The cost of chemicals and importing elements required for the test is also high. One test can cost a minimum of Rs 4,500. On the other hand, antibody tests are fast and inexpensive. It is portable, administered on site, and provides quick answers. Rapid tests changes color when particular molecules are detected. It is the presence of immunoglobulin M and immunoglobulin G in a sample that determines whether the virus is present or not. These tests can be used to gauge the extent of infection in a certain community. This will help in lockdown relaxations in areas where the virus has not infected large clusters. The ICMR has also laid out a strategy to use antibody tests. However, the plan is to use a combination of both RT-PCR and antibody tests to establish infection levels.
So this is what, am I audible? Am I audible? Yeah. Hello? So this is about the vaccine and the tests for the virus. And the treatment protocol is very simple. Treatment is based on the mild, moderate, and severe cases. Mild cases, 85% of the cases are mild, where we give medicines and ask them to take home isolation, be separate from your family, take a room, and then be inside the room for 14 days. So the main thing is that between 7th to 11th day, first 3 days you will have is the infective phase, and the 3 to 7 days you will have fever, cold, chills, all these symptoms. From the 7th to the 11th day is the time where we will have this complication of oxygen getting low and pulse going low, BP fluctuations. All these things will happen between 7 and 11 days. So pulse oximeter, if the saturation is below and you're feeling giddy, you're feeling cough is not subsiding, fever is not coming down, and you're finding the difficulty to breathe, 7th to 11th day, immediately report to the hospital. Then only they will do the CT scan, all these things. Before that, no need to take any CT scan, and RT-PCR, all these things. Go to the doctor, accordingly you will be treated. Don't do all the tests. And I get people calling and sending messages that after the corona also they go and do the test, and it's not required. The ICMR has told it's not required actually. Once you've developed enough, once you got the infection, you'll get enough, you'll have enough antibodies, and this antibodies results actually. So no need to do that. Only in severe cases, wherein 2 to 5% of 2 to 5. Can you mute the mic, please, madam? The child is speaking. Yeah. But only for the severe cases, it should be we should get admitted in the hospital, like in old age or diabetes or something like that. Otherwise, please don't panic. Please don't panic. It's a very normal, common cold fever only, and the media and this hype and so many things has happened. So it has exaggerated the thing. Though we see the same thing repeated again and again. So what happens? Our brain, whatever we like, people instead of the snake bite, seeing a snake, they get panic and then they will die. They will get heart attack, cardiac arrest, and they will die once you see a snake. Similarly, anything that fear factor, that will rush adrenaline within your body and causes the immunity to suppress, and then you will succumb. So don't panic. Be relaxed. So that is what this yoga, all these things will help you. So how to handle the infection? This is a small protocol. If you're positive, and when to test, getting help from the doctor, and from where you got the contact. So whether you gone to your neighbor's house or in marriage or somewhere, if after 3 days after that you got infected, you ask those people also to get tested and ask whether they also get infected or something like that. So you have to trace and then help those people and us also. And if you are staying, if you are getting infected and that you are isolated yourself in a room, only one person, not the elder or the children, some middle-aged people, let them come and give you food, whatever the things that is required. Only one person should take care of it. And treatment, the doctor will give you. It's a very simple treatment only. And you should, as I told, you should watch for the symptoms progressing. After 7th day, you will feel better, but on the 7th day, there is because of the cytokine storm, not because of the virus alone. That virus which has infected the lung, it creates an inflammatory reaction. If that reaction explodes, then you will have this cough and then saturation getting altered below 94. Something like that, and all these things it has to be taken care after 7 days. After 11th day, it will be okay, but do not come out of the room if you are isolated before 14 days. You should come out only on the 15th day. Okay, so there's quarantine. So recovery, some people even after 14 days, it may take 2 to 3 weeks, sometimes 1 month also, for the your body ache, fever, everything to come down. So it will take little time. So don't tell that you're like you're going to die. COVID has shattered you. All these things, we should not have this misconception. Okay. So the vaccines that's available, 3 vaccines are there: Covishield, Covaxin, and Sputnik. And these are the 3 vaccines. Sputnik is the new one. Covaxin is of the dead virus, like what we tell is inactivated virus. And that is good for children. That's what they tell actually. Now they're waiting for the Covaxin because it's +2, 10th exams are got cancelled because Covaxin was not available. The idea was the government has to inject this vaccine before the exam. That is why they cancelled the exam, because the production of Covaxin, it takes, as we saw in the video, the vaccines, it will take around 1.5 to 2 years for these vaccine trials and then come to the public. Okay. And this Covishield, it's a vector, like a dead virus, along with this RNA of the corona, it is added into that and we are injected. In both these things, and Sputnik also is also a vector. And for Covaxin, 4 weeks is the first dose. After 4 weeks, you should take the second dose. For Covishield, first dose, they tell up to 16 weeks. After 4 months also, you can take the second dose. So Covishield is better, even if there is shortage of vaccines or Covaxin, you should take after 4 weeks. But Covishield, after 4 weeks, yeah, you'll surely get it. Sputnik, this injection, it has to be stored under -16 degrees centigrade in a cold refrigerator only. So you can't be carried like other vaccines. So you have to go to the center and take. Okay, so it's a bit costly also. So this is about the vaccines, and please do take vaccines. I already taken. I took in first time when they initiated. It was for us. It was a trial only, but we took it. I took it in January. It's already 6 months. What happens is, once you get corona infection, 60% you will have immunity compared to a normal person. So better go for vaccine. Don't panic. Like Vivek died, so many people they are telling that they are killed because of the virus, because these viruses are not active and it will produce only the antibodies. These are all dead viruses. It will not cause any infection. So please take vaccines. Okay. And the standard procedure to prevent COVID is maintain 6 feet of distance and wear mask. And if you are going to some crowded places for shopping or something like that, wear double mask. And one thing is that this mask is for, if I get infected, I should not transmit the infection. So I should wear the mask. Mask, if somebody coughs on me, it will be there around me. And the virus, what happens in the, it is in droplets, right? These droplets, if it falls on a dining table or in your laptop or on a mobile, car, bike, any hard surfaces, if it falls on a cloth or something like that, it may get dry. But if it falls in a plastic or a wooden thing and all, it will stay for 48 hours in that droplets. So what happens is, if you touch those things and then touch your eyes, don't touch your nose, it will get infected. So not from coughing, this is not a shield. Like mask is not a shield, like somebody coughs and you will not get infected. Sometimes it goes to the eyes also, it gets infected. So you should not touch anything that COVID patient has touched or sneezed or something like that. So that is why you have to wash your hands. Washing is very, very important. Even if you buy anything from outside, see some milk packets, some plastic containers, some juices or something like that, you wash it with soap outside excellent before using it, or all the vegetables, whatever you get it will be also wet. We don't know the people who have handled it. You keep it outside in the sun and dry it. Let it for after 3-4 years. Once all this becomes dry, then get it, wash it properly with a little bit of lukewarm water, and then you can use it. Okay. And don't crowd yourself. Maintain social distance. Don't go and explore outside in the world. The world is safe. Earth is safe. Our native place is good. All the people are at home. Don't. Some people go and check. To go and see how is the situation, and some youngsters they are not listening. That should not be done. Okay. And work from home. And the last thing is, don't go for fake news. Please don't listen to fake news. Okay. So it's a small breathing exercise which I want to teach you, which I learned in yoga. So hope you are able to see me, right? You can make my this one, no, bigger one. See, a simple exercise is breathing exercise is to see what happens is, usually when we breathe, only the lower part of the lungs will get filled. Normal breathing actually, like while we are sitting and normal, we are all office goers, right? So this upper part of the lungs will not be aerated properly. Only it will go due to the gravity, it will go down. Okay, so only see. So, but if you take a deep breath, what happens, like a balloon inflated, this upper part also will get oxygenated. So, in breathing exercise, what you should do is, you should inhale and inhale, so like blowing a balloon. And sometimes they give balloons also to blow, so that the complete oxygen will go into all parts of the lung and you will get adequate oxygen. Okay. So what happens is, some people will sit like this and this like this, so it will not expand. So what you sit straight, okay, I'll teach this exercise. You put your right hand over your belly and left hand over your left ear. See, I told you, left side of the body is connected to the right part of the brain. So this ear and this one is connected to the right part, and this belly. Keep it like this, okay? See me, and see. If you see, this right side brain, right side lung will get expanded. Hold it tight, this one hold it tight, and then do 3 to 5 times. Inhale strongly and exhalation. Exhalation or expiration should be double the time. See, if this is 5 seconds, expiration should be slowly 10 seconds. Then alternate second. This is number 1. Step number 2, opposite side. Okay. And then step 3, this right hand should be over the left one. See, both these things like this. And then, so what happens is, the back side, the part which is behind, it will get inflated properly. 3 to 5 times, and then you hold it like this. Okay, what happens is this part will get expanded. Okay, 3 to 5 times. Okay, then close your eyes and then hold it like this. Again, this part will get expanded. Okay, this is a simple exercises that everybody can do, right from child, some 5 years children to up to 90 years of age, by sitting on these things. And we can do these exercises 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, so that the expansion, that air circulation will become proper and adequate, so that you'll get enough oxygen. Nothing to panic. Okay. So this COVID recovery, as I told, 99% of the people are getting recovered, but because of the news and all these things, we are getting bombarded with fake news, and we get unnecessarily agitated. Stay calm, and it's a normal, it's not an incurable disease and all. Don't worry about these things. Because see, accidents was 7% death. Okay, 7%. 7 people out of 100 were dying in road traffic accidents all over the world. But in Corona, comparatively, in 100 people, 1 to 1.5% are being killed. So the road traffic accident was much more than compared to this. So, but because we are at home, the mind reads some always wants to know some new things. So we go to YouTube, WhatsApp, so many things, and we are thinking about only one thing, right? So that is why we are getting agitated. Okay. See that people who are recovered, this is how we send them home. Once again, it's not a 2-minute video. So you might have seen. Okay, thank you. So you might have seen, it's a celebration actually. So money, job, education, everything is put aside. First, you should be alive. If you are alive next year, January, we can celebrate a new year, and it's a new era, new changes go on changing. So many online courses are coming. So many things has changed in the world because of Corona. Now, see, doctors are, one patient is discharged and all the people are so happy. So each life is very important. Let us save lives and stay home, so that we will not get infected, we will not infect others, and we should break the chain of this Corona mutant spread actually. And especially the elderly people, we should be very careful with them, because they are very fragile like the child, and their immunity is not so strong.
Sir, I have a query, sir.
Yeah,
sir,
please, sir, please. Yeah, thank you, sir. Presentation was over. Yeah, please go.
Sir,
Go on, sir. Go on,
sir,
go on.
actually, whether the post-corona effect, will it affect the eyesight visibility?
No, that is mucormycosis. That is what you are asking. A fungal infection.
Sir.
Fungal infection. Whenever there is a immunity in the decreased immunity in the body,
Sir.
Like this mucormycosis will attack, like especially in diabetes mellitus. What happens is this fungus, when the sugar levels are high in the blood, this fungus will it will breed, or it will grow in that sugar medium. So the mucormycosis, what you are seeing, the black fungus, all these things which just affect the eyes, and it will go up to the brain also, and it's very fast spreading, like as if putting a drop of lemon in 1 cup of water, sorry, in 1 cup of milk, it will get spoiled. Similarly,
Yes,
this fungus is very, very dangerous, and it affects only the diabetic people, not the common public, not because of the steroids injection. No. Only the diabetic people should be very, very careful. Sir.
Okay, sir. Because sir, I have experienced one case with my father recently. It happened.
Fine, sir.
He is of 80 years old, sir. Basically,
Okay.
as a rural practitioner.
Okay, sir. Fine.
He has been diagnosed with COVID positive. Then we kept him in isolation at my home itself.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Then actually recently he is not getting any fever or
fine, sir.
no such COVID symptoms. As per COVID symptoms, he is out of the danger.
Yeah.
Thing is still he is not comfort with the breathing.
Yes, sir. Breathing. That's what happens is like if we shave our head, right? If you are very young, like when you are 5 years of age or 10 years of age, when you shave your head, new hairs will come. Okay. So similarly, that cell turnover rate, that's what we tell actually. The younger the cell turnover rate, like if anything, if you get a cut, if you see, if there is a cut on a face,
sure.
If you see a child by around 10 years of age, it will heal and you can't see the mark. But
right.
If the same cut happens for a 25-year or 30-year-old people, what happens is it will form a scar or a mark. And if it's for a 60-year people, it will be the prominence of that scar will be more prominent because of the cell turnover rate we tell. As we grow older and older, if anything is there, that repairing reserve, the cells will be very, very less. That is why these old age people will be not able to have that that same amount of energy or cells reservoir to overcome, to replace that dead cells.
Yes, sir. Just now you had shown all of us a small exercise. Everybody can do that exercise.
Yes, sir.
When I noticed that actually sometimes in the midnight he used to sit and then he used to take the breathing either using a left nostril or right nostril.
Yeah, that pranayama they will do. That will help, sir, actually by sitting. But while you are sleeping, ask him to sleep on his stomach. Okay. It's like
sorry, sir.
So what happens is that reservoir, that this upper part of the lungs which are not utilized properly, this will get inflated.
Okay.
So that is why when you make this child sleep, the child sleeps comfortably if it is sleeping on stomach.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So,
okay.
That will help, sir. Thank you.
Sir, one more question, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, one more question.
Tell me, sir.
Sir, I want to know the effect of Anandaya's medicine, sir, for corona. Is it worth? Can we take?
Like Ayurvedic medicine you are asking?
Yes, sir.
See, it's an alternative medicine.
It's giving in Nellore, no, sir?
Yeah, sir. No, sir. That is a fake news, actually. That Nellore issue, no? And the people are, see, whenever there is poor people, the people are going there, but very few are rich people, all are poor people, all are scared. So they go in groups to go to such places. But no, there are no, because the people who have been to that camp, after that medicine, what they gave, and then they tested for antibodies and all, there was that medicine didn't affect actually. So they did a study on that actually, like some herbal medicine if it was, but that antibodies titer and all was not as in vaccines. So that's not a correct medicine.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Sir, one more doubt regarding the vaccination.
Yeah, tell me, sir.
Should we take the same vaccine for both the times, or can we combine any two vaccines?
No, sir. No. You have to take the same vaccine. Do not combine, because that mode of operation of each vaccine is different. So please take. If you take Covishield, go for Covishield. If you take Covaxin, you can go for Covaxin only. Don't change the vaccines.
Yes, sir. And how long will it take to generate the antibodies?
Antibodies in Covishield, it will take around 7 to 10 days for the antibodies. 1 to 2 weeks. That's what they tell. Between 1 and 2 weeks, and it will stay for 4 months after the first dose. So once the antibody titer comes down, the second dose should be taken before 4 weeks in Covishield. For Covaxin, it is 1 month, sir. It will, after 7 to 14 days, you get the antibody. And after 4 weeks, the titer will come down. Again, you have to take a booster dose. And now there is a study, but it's not because of the lack of vaccine. After 6 months, people who got infected or already taken the vaccine, especially for healthcare workers or all these people, we are telling after 6 months, please take a booster dose also, because the vaccine is new. It's started from January. So after June, July, again they will check the healthcare personnel, and if the antibody titer is less, then again they have to take a booster dose who are exposed, who are working in that with the COVID patient, not the common public. Sir. Common public, 2 doses are enough.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I'm Dr. Atul Bhargav from Jaipur.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. Tell me, sir.
Good morning, sir. What is the role of T cells, sir, as far as natural immunity is concerned, sir?
Yes, sir.
Because
See, actually,
I think it has been undermined by many of the clinicians.
Yeah.
Only vaccination alternatives done, but what about the T cells?
Sir, this actually B cells are for the bacteria, and T cells for the lymphocytes are for the viral infection. So this lymphocytosis and lymphocytopenia are the main things. That's what they see in this corona patient. T lymphocyte counts are decreasing, and this any virus, T lymphocytes are the attackers. And then once these T lymphocytes are filled, then the macrophages will come and engulf the T lymphocytes. So B cells have less role than the T lymphocytes. T lymphocytes is the reservoir. So T lymphocytes will give the permanent, the memory for this, for the antibodies to be produced again and again.
Correct,
So
sir. Sir, this can be used as a technique to determine whether the patient is having.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If viral load is there will be lymphocytopenia. Yeah.
So instead of doing RT-PCR, I think it's simple CBC will tell.
Yes,
that,
sir.
Patient is
That is right, sir. You are absolutely right. That CBC and CRP in the PHC levels, they are doing only these 2 tests instead of going for RT-PCR. RT-PCR, only people who are affordable and near the center, they are doing. It's like COVID positive patient and with symptoms, they are doing the CBC and CRP. And if they find any changes in this, actually the lymphocyte count and all, if there is variation, then only they are asking for RT-PCR. They are not telling to go for RT-PCR because it's costly and expensive, and the load will be to go to the needy people.
So the guidelines says patients should go for RT-PCR, and then once it is positive, then they go for CBC, CRP, and DDAP.
No, sir. Now the antibody test, preliminary swab test, if that is positive, then go for the RT-PCR.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In case of false positive cases, if CBC is done,
false positive case, then if the CBC, CRP, if there is any changes, then also we can go for RT-PCR, sir. But directly going to the, because many of the
patients, they are not showing symptoms and still having COVID positive. So in that case, CBC can be done, which will tell the lymphocytes. And they can interpret it whether
yes, sir. Yeah. Many of my friends in various places, in remote places, they are doing the CBC, CRP only then this swab test. Or sometimes, the sample collected is not adequate, or the sample procedure is not right, then also you will get negative actually. So in that case, they are going for CBC, CRP, and with the clinical symptoms. And on the 5th day, they are going for this RT-PCR, sir. When 2 of my friends are working in medical college, they are microbiology professors. They get the RT-PCR on the 5th day. They don't recommend directly go for RT-PCR. Even if they like suspicion and then go for RT-PCR, no.
In Rajasthan, sir, they are doing so. So that's why I'm asking.
That you, as a doctor, you know, sir, like mixed population and mixed opinions. And that information. Pardon me, sir?
Just one more question. The second wave, many of the patients who have taken first shot, around 40% were showing positive to RT-PCR.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Even they have gone to ICU also. So what could be the reason, sir? Because in first wave, they were not affected at all. That means immunity was good. And they have not taken any treatment. But whereas in second wave, around 40% patients, they were taken first dose and they were hospitalized and even in ICU.
Agreed, sir. Agreed. So what I observed is the virulence and the immunity. If the viral load is too much and this immunity is less, and it is indirectly proportional. If the virulence is more, directly proportional. If the virulence is more and the immunity is less, yes, sir. This is one factor. Second factor, as I told you, they tell that after the vaccination, this antibody titer will, after 6 months, it may get reduced. That is why that booster dose. So people who got in vaccine shot in first wave, if it is more than 6 months, they might get reinfected again. And the vaccine transportation, that is also I'm suspecting in this, like it has to be in cold storage, and people are carrying it in remote places and all. They are carrying it, keeping it outside, say for around 4 or 5 hours, and then they're giving the injection. So the efficacy, once you are in the room temperature, and it was summer in some places, because of that virus, that live attenuated virus, whether they will be, it is green. A question, sir. So many papers are coming, but the exact workup, that statistics is not, we are not getting the proper information, sir. So that failure of vaccination, yeah.
Virologists, they are saying that it can be enhancing the mutation part, vaccination. That is why.
Yeah. That is also one thing, sir. That is what the failure of this, what they are doing is RNA, they are doing it. But the spike proteins, if they do, that mutation is happening actually. Even the RNA viruses, that because of the mutation, yeah, there could be a failure. In H1N1 vaccine also, the same thing happened. It didn't work. It worked only in the preliminary stages. Later stages, it didn't work. So we don't know the efficacy because of the mutation strain, mutant strain, whether it is protecting, giving immunity or antibody. Still, this tests are positive, but so far, based on the studies, people who got like doctors, everybody who got the antibody titers, who are working with the COVID patients, that intensity, even if the virulence is more, 60% immunity is there. So that is why they are giving these vaccinations. But as you told, it's too early, you know. So it will take 1.5 to 2 years for the complete study and trials and then reports. So like pregnancy patient teratogenicity, children's efficacy and all, the trial has to go for more actually. It's very short for a vaccination, no? It will take at least 5 years. But in a short time,
I am asking, sir, the reason is very simple.
Fingers crossed.
In July or so, there will be almost 13 vaccines. So each and every vaccine will, if it is enhancing mutation, then it will be going to be a very big problem for the.
Yes. Agree, sir. Agree. I completely agree, sir. I completely agree with it. So that is why in some countries they are not agreeing. They are not. They have withdrawn the vaccines. But here the population is so much. We don't know how to control. You know, one is lockdown, and somehow it is breaking the chain.
That is what I'm saying, sir. If the exposure of so many vaccines are there, that means the mutation will be also multiple fold.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I agree, sir. I agree. But people who are like in, I got a report in Bombay slum area. You know, the virulence is very less. That spread of infection, people around only some. 3% of the population got infected. I was astonished actually to see in Dadra, that slum area and all, no, people are not infected. I don't know whether because they didn't move out, they didn't get the infection. And it's a mixed opinion, like some are virulent, some are some mutation, and some due to vaccine, some due to lockdown. But the study and the behavior of this mutant strain itself is very enigmatic, sir. You know the difficulty that they're facing.
Moreover, the mortality rates are what they say with vaccine is 4% in Britain, whereas in India it is 0.06.
Yeah, that again the dilution.
Either the data is wrong, or either the
data all empirically only now, sir. We don't have the proper lab and all the, like in abroad. You know, the population is very less, and then. The study is a little bit perfect actually. They have money and all the R&D programs. Here it is very less comparatively. So data, it is you know 50-50 only.
Sir, we are from augmented. We are talking about augmented reality and virtual reality. So data has to be there. Unless until we have some primary data which is correct, then we cannot.
Yeah, agree, sir. Agree. Like every day we are going on, like we are working on, like the data. It is not up to the mark to exactly pinpoint. Actually, we are also empirically overcoming. Like compared to the first wave, like the behavior of this COVID virus and how it spreads and how it infects and what is the cytokine storm, to get to know about this itself, it took around 6 to 8 months actually. So the studies what we are doing trial and error is based on this UK, US book studies only. That Indian papers are not so much actually comparatively. Like
which is not a correct way to
which is not a correct way. Agreed. For that genetic trait and for that race and our Indian, that is what in vaccine there is a controversy actually. That vaccine which is produced there, Covishield, and according to those studies and the efficacy here, there is a little bit of what you say.
The basic difference will be of T cells.
T cells, yes. T cells, yes, it can be taken.
Because in Western countries, the T cells you will not find much because there
yes, I agree. But I mean, even in allergy and so many things also, there is a variation between, like in the first wave, you see above the equator, people were succumbed above the equator, below the equator, no. But the second wave, it affected below the equator because of the mutation and the climate changes and all. So it means like different races and different ethnic period, different genetic traits are getting different infection, mutation and.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that
Thanks
will know, sir. Actually. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So kind of you, sir. Yes, sir. I think Uma Madam, she has to go for the next session at 11:30. If you can, 1 or 2 questions, yes. I think. Yeah.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. We feel that this particular Kickstart session has given us more information about the present pandemic situation, and then
yes,
really it helped us a lot to know where we are exactly, and then as the peer associates mentioned, they have so many doubts, and all those doubts are very useful for us also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then
so what I feel is this intelligent intellectuals like us actually should take the stride in the front line, no? Instead of believing the people. Otherwise, this ignorant and illiterate people, they will send messages and then they will manipulate things and politicize the thing, and it will create social chaos. So educated people like us at least see, like, yes, we are interacting on online only, but it adds up to that actually. This synergy, what I call it as synergy. So this presentation among various fields, it will create more boost up and then clarity. And I think as being an educated person, I should respect the educated people and then try to impart the knowledge and share the experiences so that we will work unitedly and so that we can spread the messages to us. Because
yes,
everybody has
experience. It helped us, sir.
Yes, everybody is having a family group. So one information, proper information, and authenticated person, authorized person, if you get the knowledge, and then it will be very fine.
Correct, sir. Exactly, sir. Exactly.
Yeah, Uma Madam asked about, again, vaccine question has been asked. Again, I'm going to say Covishield, Covaxin, and the Sputnik. Covaxin is live inactivated virus. Okay. Sorry, it's live, but it has been inactivated due to some hybrid technology. So same like polio virus, rabies virus, is live attenuated. It will go into the body, it will provide immunity, it will not cause any disease. Then first dose and the second dose for Covaxin is first dose, and after 4 weeks you should go for the second dose. And about the Covishield, it is a vector vaccine. What you mean by vector is reverse transcriptase. You take an adenovirus, one virus, another family of virus, and you inject RNA into that adenovirus, dead, and these both are dead actually. This is injected because that is a vector. Adenovirus is taking that RNA coronavirus and then it is being injected, and then that will produce immunity. The dosage is 1 and 16. Okay, 16 weeks. Earlier when I took the injection, I took after 2 weeks. They told after 3 weeks, then 4 weeks. Now they are telling up to, you can say up to, you can take, if you take the second dose up to 16 weeks is also okay. Anywhere between 2 to 3 months, 2 to 4 months, it's fine. And about the Sputnik, again, it's like Covaxin only, but it's also 1 and 4, but it is also vector vaccine, same like Covishield, and it also will give you immunity and it will not cause disease. Please take vaccine. Yeah, corona vaccine is very effective. That's what I told. I want to reiterate, remind again and again. We, people who are working healthcare, police officers who are taking this vaccine, and old people who are taking a vaccine, if the family members are affected, the vaccine people are not getting infected. One, and second thing is that if 60% the patient who are being discharged from ICU, the person who are taken vaccine and the persons who are not taken vaccine, vaccinated people have good recovery rate. They're 60% less affected compared to the normal person. So please take vaccine. This is a good question. After quarantine, 4 weeks. After quarantine, if you got infected, recovered from corona, after 4 weeks, you can take the second dose. If you have taken the first dose, or else first and then routine. After 1 month, you can go for the vaccination. If you got infected. Yeah, madam. Chitra, madam,
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Yeah, tell me, madam.
Sir, actually, this clotting they tell out, sir, in case of Covishield.
Clotting,
Hello?
Yeah, clotting.
Yes, sir. Clotting rate is there.
Clotting of what, madam? Blood clot? No, madam. No. Those are all false information. No. Those are all false information.
0.03% clotting is there, especially for women, so they tell like that.
No. For women, for pregnant people, why we don't give is, we don't know what will happen to the baby. Whether this medicine, some medicine should not be given, it will go to the baby, and it is teratogenic vital, actually, it will affect the growth of the child. In that case, we should not give, but clotting, no. This is a wrong information. There is no relation between the coronavirus and the clotting. Like in dengue fever, even platelet count will come down little bit during the infective phase. Okay, but
so other than pregnant women, everyone can take.
Yes, madam. Everyone can take. Now they are, I think, from 2 years to 18 years. The next batch they are planning actually next month, maybe in July, for children also.
Covaxin or Covaxin?
Covaxin for children. Covaxin.
But Covaxin also some controversy is there, sir. They have not done with the third phase like that.
All medicines are man-made. It's not natural. Okay. Even if you take paracetamol, paracetamol more than 10 grams, okay. Every day maximum 4 grams you can take, like 1000 milligram, one dose actually. If you take more, you'll get liver damage. So it is metabolized in the liver. So whatever the medicines that we are giving, it has to be thrown out and immunity has to be produced actually. So it will have that preservative and the solution that is used and the container that is used, injection, everything is foreign. So every medicine has side effect. Okay. In this, the vaccine, what we have on the papers and studies, what they tell is around 0.3%. That whatever the complications that you have studied come across is 0.3%. And you may ask, sir, if I am in that 0.3%, yes, we have already taken. We are in the trial. For us, it was a third trial for doctors, healthcare workers. We started in January, so we volunteered ourselves and then we gave this. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Morning, madam.
Sir, after getting infected and after in quarantine, the first dose can be taken within a month, sir. The first dose of
after 4 weeks, madam, because already antibodies will be there, so no need to take immediately. After 1 month, 4 weeks later, you can start the routine that vaccine. But not if you want to take it.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, madam. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Atul sir. Thank you, sir. Uma madam, are you there? Hello, any questions?
No, sir. The session is very informative, and thank you, sir, and thanks to the peer members also.
Yeah.
Asking so many questions on behalf of us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Sudhakar, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to share my experiences. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Uma madam.
Sudhakar sir, good morning sir. Sudhakar sir, good morning sir. Sudhakar sir, good morning sir.
Good morning. Yes. Yeah. Yes, madam. Go on.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yeah, please, madam. Please.
Sir, does it not lead to breathing problem or lowering the oxygen levels when we use the single or double or multiple masks?
Yeah, madam. Yeah, that is a very good question actually. So masks actually they tell you should not use even N95 mask, no, not more than 6 hours. And this ordinary mask, see, if you do it as there is a simple layman language. If you pour water into it, it will go out. It will not filter. So I don't know whether it will filter this virus and all. It's just a protective, just for the droplets to get dried up. Okay. So that is why we are using that. And person who has got infected should not transmit. That is the idea. And there is a, whenever you wear this mask, that blue color mask, you know, there is a nylon coated layer and a cloth coated layer. And this nylon coated cloth layer should be inside towards your side, and the cotton should be outside. Okay. So from outside, so what happens is you are not transmitting. So that should be the idea. And whenever you are going to the affected area, wear double layer mask. You can wear 2 masks at a time. That is what they are telling. If you are going in a, like for shopping or emergency situation, going to a hospital, accompanying your relative or something, wear double mask. It will be more help. But all the masks are not so helpful, even though it's hand wash is better. Don't touch anything. Don't touch anything and maintain a distance. What happens is, see, the spit, you know, while I cough, it will go 3 feet like this and it will fall down due to gravity. Okay. If you are, and a person, infected person is standing and you are sitting and if he is talking, and then that spit will come on directly come to you. If the infected person is sitting down and you are standing, then it will fall down, it will not hit your face. So this is the idea. So the transmission of that spit, you know, are the droplets. So if you are 6 feet away, within 3 feet, it will fall down and it will not affect. So this is the idea. So mask, it's a, that if you wear N95 mask, 6 hours, yeah, it will get good protection. For more than that, you have to wear again. But the simple mask, what we are doing is just to protect ourselves. And yes, breathing difficulty will be there because we are not used to it, right? Anything we are not used to, suddenly, even if you wear a spectacles, when you wear new spectacles, for the vision to get adjusted, it will take little time. Similarly, mask is of a sudden. So maybe in Muslim countries, in Gulf countries, and other people are already wearing this burqa, all these things, they might be comfortable. For us, it's uncomfortable. But it will not cause any oxygen saturation decrease or something like that, no. Because there are spaces around. It will not cause.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And also, with Mr. Anand Kumar's permission, I would like to mention his question here.
Yeah.
During first wave, there was no O2 problem.
Okay.
But that's huge demand for O2 issues during second. And does it continue for the third wave?
First wave, it was more of a upper respiratory tract infection, madam. It didn't go to the lungs. The second variant, now the mutation variant, it went up to the lungs. Okay. And the second wave, it is not only affecting the lungs, it is affecting the eyes, conjunctiva, red eyes are there, like Madras eye, and it has affected the intestines. Okay. Some part of the brain and liver or some other parts also, it is affected actually. Third mutant, we don't know. It might be, as every time that mutation occurs, it is becoming virulent only. The third wave, they are telling it will affect the children more. First wave, it was above 60 years. Second wave is for the youth. Third wave is for the children. That's what is very panicky. And if a child goes and parents, everybody know, it will be big havoc actually. So please break the chain, break the chain, break the chain. Please follow lockdown. I know it's very difficult. But and because of the lung, this virus has entered the lung. It is not because of the infection that oxygen saturation has gone down. What happens like in a layer, you know, that blood and that air, lungs, that there will be exchange, there will be filter, there will be a membrane through which this oxygen will enter and hemoglobin will take the oxygen and go and give carbon dioxide out actually. What is happening is this infection, because of the clogging of that lining cells, which is causing scarring of this lung tissue, and that is why it is creating a obstruction. It is not healing, and in that there are cytokines which is released, and once it blasts, more lungs are getting infected, like affected because of the reaction. So this is not allowing that the dead cells or the damaged cells is not allowing the oxygen from external to get inside. So this is what is the problem that is occurring, and it will naturally heal after 7 days. From the 7th day, this cytokine storm will occur. It's not because of the infection of the virus, but it is because of the damage that reaction that inflammatory cytokines is causing, that is more dangerous. That is why we are seeing more lung problems in the second wave. Third wave, what are the other systems it might affect, we don't know. So that is why, like a pandemic, in any pandemic, they tell after once the pandemic settles down, it will take 6 months to become normal. If I tell that today Corona has ended, to clear the pandemic, there will be a 6 months on rise and then it will come down. That last 6 months recovery phase, that the children will get affected. That is what is every pandemic has seen, especially like that Spanish flu in 1918 and all. So that is why they are taking stringent precautions for children especially. So please break the chain.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, madam. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you. It's a time for vote of thanks. So on behalf of Nanamani College of Technology, Department of CSE from Namakkal, I thank for providing him grace his presence to joining us today to enhance our knowledge. Thank you. Thank you to all.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you. Okay. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.
Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have not. I'm not able to find my ID number. From where I can get it?
Which ID, ma'am?
Participant ID number. There is a one form. In feedback form, there is a one option to put the ID number.
Yes, ma'am. ID already posted in the group, ma'am. WhatsApp group.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
ID number is also there in mail. Mail is sent to you. PDF file is there. You can check that mail also.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.